Hello everyone, here is Lethal once again. And today we're going to be talking about Voruna, the Primal Huntress. She's actually one of my favorite frames, uh, both because I really like wolves as an animal. I really find them very majestic and cute, and also because of her gameplay and her aesthetic. She's very fun and she's really the Huntress. Like that really worked. The theme is very well thought, and you really feel like I would say something like Warwick in League of Legends. So you're really trying to hunt enemies as a primal wolf, and that very much works well. That being said, I do not use her that much, sadly, because I personally think that she's like the versatility as well as maybe a bit of quality of life to be usable in every circumstances. But to be honest, she's fairly usable pretty much everywhere. The only time which you might struggle is whenever you're going to face a lot of enemies that might silence you. So I guess, I mean, nullifiers comes to mind, of course, but as long as you don't step inside the bubbles and take them down with your operator, you'll be fine, I guess. So it's up to you. Um, but yeah, I do not use her as much as Kullervo, for example, but I really like Voruna, and since she just got a new Prime, I wanted to make a video about her. First of all, let's talk about her abilities. So let me take a build without any mods so I can talk about her base kit. First of all, our passive. So, our passive is actually you have four different options that you can switch whenever you want by holding your ability keys. So, if you hold the first ability, you'll get the first passive, second passive, and so on and so forth. You can switch at any time you want. So our four different passive are actually all very interesting and can all come up in different like builds and situations. The first one is simply an additive 50% parkour speed, so you're really going to go very fast whenever you have that on, especially when if you're playing with our fourth ability. Our second passive, which is the one you'll be using the most because it's completely broken, is a total immunity to new status effects. So if you activate while you have statuses on you, sorry. So if you activate it when you have statuses on you, what happens is that you won't clear them, but you will prevent new ones from appearing. So that includes self stagger, pretty much anything that's very broken, and that's what you will choose most of the time. Our third passive is very interesting, and well, you can totally build the frame around it. So it gives you 100% heavy attack efficiency. The stat is actually capped at 90%, so that means that whenever you heavy attack with a melee weapon, you will consume only 10% of your combo counter. So that alone is worthy of like building around it if that's your thing. I won't be showing any build about that, but I'm just like saying that you can do something around that if that's your thing. Our fourth option is well, it's a bit different than the others. So it's what I like to call a cheat death. So it will prevent bleed out if you would die, and instead you'll get 3 seconds invulnerability and get back your shield health. And so that passive will actually deactivate afterwards. And so it has a 60 seconds cooldown whenever it's triggered or when you switch out manually for something else. I don't use it that much because usually you don't struggle with like you're not like worried of dying usually when you're playing Voruna, and you'd rather prevent status effects rather than that. So overall, it's very good. Like you can use whichever you prefer. As I said, I prefer the second one in most cases. The first one is also good sometimes. But yeah, that's up to you. Here is the passive. Next, we'll be talking about the first ability, which is your survival tool. So you get invisible, and you get a buff on melee critical chances, damages, and status chances. And you also get a force/proc. That also applies to our fourth ability, but we'll get to that later. Um, and something to note is that the invisibility will break whenever you shoot your weapon or use a melee attack, but it won't be broken by your ability, so your first and fourth ability, and actually Helminth abilities won't break the stealth. It will, though you will like blink out of stealth and like do your ability and then blink back into stealth. So that matters, but like basically you're invisible and you're safe. I'll get to white matters like later whenever I'll be talking about arcanes actually. The second ability is much simpler. You leap onto an enemy. You apply 10 stacks of 5 different status effects on that enemy. And also, if that enemy dies, it will spread its current effects in a zone around it. Very simple. It's a very, very good ability. You can actually play a status nuke that I'll get to that later. But it's a good ability. It synergizes well with our kit. Here's that. Our third ability is Laycast Hunt. It will make it so enemies will drop globes. Whenever you do a melee kill, it will drop health orbs, and enemies killed by headshots will drop energy orbs. So Voruna is mostly melee frames. That's why you have the melee health orbs. But also, she actually was raised with a sniper, so that's why there is something about headshots as well. Something to note is that that buff will actually extend if you kill an enemy that has 5 or more status effects. So whenever you kill an enemy that's affected by your second ability, it will extend. So usually you cast it once or twice, and then as long as you use your 2 and kill stuff that's affected by your 2, you're safe and you do not need to cast it again. And so we'll go to our fourth ability, which is the most complex one, because it has a lot of synergies with our kit and also a stacking mechanic. So what happens is whenever you use it, you go into a hunting mode. You gain 50% movement speed, and you lose the access to your weapons, including your melee weapons. Instead, what happens is that you get access to a special ability which is a lunge towards enemies. Whenever you activate that fourth ability, you get 5 charges, so you are allowed to do 5 lunges on enemies. Things to note: it's not a melee weapon, so it won't benefit from steel charge and other like melee buffs that you might have in your stuff, arcanes and such. But it will benefit from generic buffs. So roar technically, and so let me show what I'll be talking about. That's something that I have on my gross or E. So for example, Tenacious Bone, which gives final critical damage, will affect that because that ability will crit, and that buff is generic. So that's something to note. Um, Also, because whenever you lunge, you actually pop out of invisibility, you cannot use Arcane Crepuscular, which is a very good Arcane that I wish I could use, because it gives it gives a bit of ability strength and 3 times multiplier final critical damage, which is very, very good. But you cannot use it because you pop out of invisibility, do the slash, and get back in, so it deactivates the arcane for a bit. That sucks. That being said, if you're using a secondary invisibility source, so if you're not like using your one to get the invisibility, but something like Shade that won't be broken by you using your ability, your fourth ability, well, it will work. So that's something to note. I'm not using that, so I'm not using Arcane Crepuscular, but if that's your thing, I really recommend that Arcane. It works extremely well in that situation. Um, now let's get back to how that works. So, uh, that ability does a lot of damages when it's stacked up. So there is whenever you kill with it, and when I mean you kill, you have to kill with like the impact damages, not the slash status that you get afterwards. Um, it will get a stack. It stacks up to 5 times, and so every stack actually increase the base damage, the base critical changes and damages. So your launch doesn't do that much damage at the first stack, but whenever you reach the fifth one, you really destroy stuff. Like even heavy stuff dies. Also, there is also another multiplier linked to that. So that ability does more damage when you're invisible with their first ability, as well as when it's hitting an enemy that has status effects. So your first and second ability will act as damage multiplier for your fourth ability. Um, I've really tried to summarize that whole ability. To be honest, if you want to learn about how it works precisely, go check the wiki. There are like all of the calculations and math about that. But yeah, I try to simplify it. So yeah. Next, I'll be talking about two builds. So one build that uses our fourth ability, and one that doesn't because it's our weakest ability. Because of all I've said before, like the fact that you have to stack it up and stuff, it can really be bothersome if you don't want to do that. Um, First, I'm going to be talking about our two mod augments because those matter a lot. So our first mod augment that I'll be talking about is what makes our fourth ability playable. Without that, our fourth ability is not playable because you'll only get 5 charges of lunges and won't be able to replenish them. And so that mod augment allows you to replenish those charges. And so you can keep on jumping on enemies over and over thanks to that. So the way to get back charges is whenever an enemy with a slash status dies around you. So it can be a slash status that's from a teammate, it can be a slash status that's from your fourth ability, or from your second ability. So it's very easy to get back charges thanks to that. But you still have to make sure that you're not spending the last one, otherwise you will lose like everything you've stacked up and will have to stack up again. Without that, the ability is simply not usable and is our Helminth thought. The other mod is Shroud of Diner, which is the augment of our first ability. So what happens is that whenever you're stealth, you will highlight an enemy, and that enemy will suffer a damage vulnerability, and whenever it dies, the status spread is much larger. So in that build, the base status spread is 40 meters. So if I add 1.5 times multiplier, it becomes like 35 meters, which makes it so you can like nuke and spread statuses in like giant rooms and spread everything thanks to that. That will be like what I'll be presenting in my second build that I won't be playing, but yeah. Status Archon shards, sorry. So I'm only using 2 quality of life Archon shards, so 1 casting speed and 1 maximum energy field on spawn. It's just like for for conveniency. Um, the 3 other slots that I have could be used for strength shards. So either red or green one. Probably the green ones are better. So they're a multiplier on your ability strength, but you have to proc corrosive beforehand, but that's very easy since like your 2 will do that for you. I will probably be putting 3 green shard at some point. I just have not invested into that yet. So about the stats of the build themselves. So because I have 2 buffs, so my first and third ability, I have a bit of duration, not so much because like the third one will maintain itself, and only have to recast the first one over and over. So I don't want to do that like every 3 seconds. So I need a little bit of duration. Um, I have a lot of range because I want to be able to spread my statuses far away with the Fangs of Raksh, as well as increase the zone of my fourth ability. Because whenever you leap onto a target around you, you'll also do a small slash damages, and as well as knock down all of the enemies, which is very nice to be honest. Like crowd control is always nice on like when it's a bonus effect, so I like that. Having a bit of strength is nice. Also, you can leave from further away with the things of Rax, I believe, with thanks to range. So I have a lot of strength. So the build doesn't show it because it's only 139, but I have 60 on Molt Augmented, 78 on Arcane Impetus because I'm able to proc 13 different statuses thanks to the fangs, and I have 90 on precision intensify, so I have 378, 378, no, 377, sorry, on our fourth ability, which is really a lot of strength, so I want that ability to hit as hard as possible, so it can kill like very heavy stuff. Um, so I've negative efficiency as well. That's not an issue because, as I said, impetus I can stack it 13 times, which means that I'll get back to 84% efficiency. And my third ability gives me a lot of globs, so I have equilibrium. I'm basically always full energy. That's like energy is no concern on Voruna. Once she gets going, that's very good. I'll just quickly show my second build. So it just like swaps our fourth ability for Roar, and I remove their Modogman for an Archon stretch to spread the statuses like further away. Uh, Nothing like very interesting, but yeah, I wanted to show that off in case you wanted to know about it. But I'll be playing Ulfor in this descent because I really like that ability, and that's like the main reason I play Voruna actually. Um, so let me show you before we get into a mission. I want to show you how that works. So I need to stack up my fourth ability, and then well it works when it's fully stacked up. So I think some Arid Butchers will do nicely to stack up. So let me first stack Arcane Impetus to 13 times. Oh, I've killed everything by mistake. Okay, so no, I can cast our fourth ability. Everything is dead. I'll respawn everything. So let me kill some shitty enemies first. So I need to stack up. Yeah, you can see that like it's still path enemies, but they die too quickly because like weak enemies are not the issue. The issue is like heavy infantry. But once you're stacked up, it's fine. It's just like the first few kills that are bothersome. Okay, I'm at like max stack, so I've done 5 kills with my Ulfron's Descent. So let me so that's the most tanky thing I can put up. Basically, I'll get invisible, hit that one because there is the damage vulnerability, and leap on it, and it does decent damages. So as you can see, I might need a few hits sometimes, but or to apply a lot of statuses. Yeah, it's rather that. when you apply a lot of statuses, you get like viral, and then you also get sorry, viral and corrosive, and that's your main damage jump, and so everything dies. That's not like what you encounter the most, so it's fine if it like survives a few hits. But I wanted to show that even like very heavy units will still die at some point from your fourth ability. It's not like the best, but it will eventually die. I've actually one-shotted those enemies some previously. Let me try that again, because you never know. I might have screwed up something actually. Okay. So that one, let me spread out of status, press 4, and yeah, one shot. I just need to proc like corrosive and viral, as I was saying. So yeah, as you could see, like stacking is bothersome, and I don't do any damages if so if I'm not stacked up, I won't do any damage. So like the life of the enemy will barely move, which is an issue. So if you have any tip or idea about that, um, feel free to discuss about them in the comments. I've tried to come up with solution actually, but I couldn't really think of anything that would work. The two things that I was thinking about were either playing Unairu on the operator, so I have access to a strip on my ability, um, that like lowers the effective health of enemies. So I guess that makes stacking a bit easier. Or using a sentinel for that. I actually have an Helios build that's meant for stripping, so I guess I could use that otherwise. Um, yeah, if you have any other idea, feel free to share about it, because I don't have any idea. Like, if you were to do like a steel pass endurance run, I don't know you would be able to simplify the fact that you might need to restack afterwards, like in the middle of the mission when enemies are like, I don't know, level 1,000 or something. Or are you able to quickly restack if you were nullified, for example, because you might encounter violence, which is the main issue that you will face, because it silences your Warframe, so you lose your stacking and lose your hunting mode. Um, yeah, that being said, let's show that in uh, a survival mission. Compared to last time, I also checked how the survival speed up thing works, so I'm now aware to what I have to do to speed things up and not have to wait 5 minutes to do a wall rotation. So I might do that, but I also want to show an acolyte, so I don't want to speed things up too much as well. Let me activate the status resistance, stack arcane impetus. Okay, I'll do that as well though. Let me generate some globes. Get back into stealth. Do I have my stacks? No, only 12. Can I get my last one, please? Pretty please. I want to get my last stack. Okay. Now I can get into hunting mode and start stacking. It won't be an issue on those low level enemies. Like it's base steel pass, so it's not very tanky. It's Yeah, so I've my 10 stacks, and now I can just like leap around and kill everything by the simple press of a button, which feels fun, to be honest. Um, yeah, it's not going to be very diverse. I'm just like getting into invis, pressing 2 to spread status, and clicking on 4 to like kill enemies. Let me check if I can find the speed up thingy. I'm not quite sure where they're hidden in that map. I think the radius is 80 meters around a life survival light tower. So here. Where is it? Is it above? What the fuck is that? Oh, I didn't know there were stuff there. Um, hold on. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Let's activate the life support because I was a bit not killing enemies at all. I was too focused on that. Um, yeah, I'm going just to leap, leap, and leap and kill everything without like thinking. It's fun. I really like that ability. It's too bad that it lacks quality of life to be usable in like every situation, but yeah, it still works. Also, I'm not using the nuke status build because I don't have I'm not using Roar, and Roar is like brings a lot of damages in such cases, but even then, I'll still be able to do a lot of damages with my single ability, so let me show you where is my prey. It's here. I'm just going to... Eh, not that great. Yeah, it killed a few stuff, but without Roar, it's really lacking damages. So I'm just going to have to do the job myself and leap around to kill everything. I'm not going to try to speed up the mission any further, because as I said, I'd like for the Acolyte to spawn to show like what happens. Hopefully it's violence, because like that's the one that causes the most issue, but if it's not, it's fine. I finished stacking Molten Wanted, so I'm going to pop out of my fourth ability and stack it again. It's going to be a bit bothersome for the first few kills, and oh, I missed that one. I'm back at 10 kills. Now I can like... Yeah, I'm fully stacked up. I'm ready to kill everything. Um, let's wait for the Acolyte to spawn. I'll slowly walk towards extraction whenever it appears, I suppose. And we'll kill the Acolyte and then end the mission. Oh, let's grab that, since I'm next to it, actually. I'll activate the parkour speed one, and you can see that I'm really zooming, like it's crazy fast. Like I'm overshooting, actually, because I'm not used to such speed. But yeah, I'm zooming around at the speed of sound. Come on, the Acolyte, please spawn. I want to show up. I want to show off where, like the damages on it. They're like Voruna's damages on Acolyte aren't great. That's why I want to show off that. Like, I'll eventually kill it, but yeah, I won't like one-shot it like with the Cooler, for example. Okay, finally. Let me move a bit towards extraction, and then it will spawn onto me. Where are you? Is there slash? It's knocked down, so it's very easy. Yeah, as you could see, it's like it's fine. It's nothing amazing, but it will like kill the Acolytes nonetheless. You won't have to like get out of your form to like to shoot your weapon, so it's okay. Um, so I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to subscribe and to discuss in the comments. I'd be very happy to answer and discuss some more about Voruna because I really, really like the frame. And until then, see you next time. Bye.